Your phone buzzes. It's your sibling. Yeah, that one. And there it is, the classic text. Just let me know what you need. I'm here to support you. Which is actually a lovely thing to say if your goal is to sound supportive without actually becoming useful. Because an offer of vague help made by a sibling that lives far away isn't really an offer of help. I kind of feel like it's the caregiver's equivalent of someone standing on the shore waving while you're drowning. But this time, you just happen to be drowning in Medicare paperwork. I'm Nicole, a Gen X nurse. And if you're the one caring for your aging parents and handling all the medical bills, the doctor's appointments, their medications, you know exactly why this text stings. You know why that kind of text spikes your blood pressure. That kind of offer can feel like emotional pocket lint. Small, annoying, sticks to everything, and impossible to get rid of. And it's completely normal for Gen X caregivers to feel bitterness towards their siblings who offer this vague kind of help. Just let me know what you need. Because let me know what you need is code. And it's actually more about them than it is about you. I'd like to feel I'm being helpful without having to change anything in my life. Does that sound familiar? I think so. And if you get these kind of texts, you might start feeling a little bit bitter about it because you're the one living in the reality. But your sibling is floating around in some fantasy land where somehow they believe care happens through good intentions and by texting, sending you good vibes. As if. But here's what really burns us. Because the psychology of Gen X means we were raised to be the responsible one. And the Latchkey generation doesn't ask for help easily. Keys around our neck and feelings on mute. That's how a lot of us were raised. So when the caregiving falls unevenly on one person, that one person doesn't want to have to beg for help. They don't want to have to chase after people. They don't want to pour their heart out in a text message only to get this kind of reply. Sorry, I've been so busy. Busy doing what exactly? So you just keep doing what needs to be done. And that's the problem. And here's where it can get uglier. Because it's not just that they didn't help. It's that they don't show up and they still want credit for caring. And that is a special kind of irritation. It makes a lot of us realize that the hardest part of caregiving may not be the actual work. It could be the loneliness of being the only one who knows what it actually takes to spend a day in the life of being a caregiver. If you're a caregiver, this probably looks familiar. There you are, trying to schedule a doctor's appointment. Your phone starts ringing. The pharmacy's calling. There's an issue. Your parent needs something. A bill is overdue. And then that's when your sibling texts. Just let me know what you need. I'm here to support you. And you stare at the phone. And you want to scream. Because you don't need a text. You need someone who can make a call. You need someone who can sit in a waiting room. You need someone who can take over for 2 hours without needing a medal for it. What you need is real help, not emotional confetti. Real help. And when that keeps not happening, that bitterness leads to you starting to keep score. Now, scorekeeping, it's rude, it's exhausting, and it's completely human for us to do. But here's the thing about bitterness. Eventually, it starts to poison everything. Not just your relationship with your sibling, but with your parents, your spouse. It leaks into your health, your mental health, your sanity. And at this point, you're not just caregiving, you're also managing everyone else's comfort around caregiving. And boy, does that get old fast. I call that emotional invalidation by distance. You're the one living the mess, but they're living the idea of the mess. They have no idea. And when someone only shows up in theory, that really hurts because it sends a message. You carry it and we'll cheer you on from over here. That is not help. That's dead air with a smiley face emoji. And here's where things get even weirder. Have you ever wondered, why don't you ask for help? Because asking for help takes energy. Asking takes time. Asking opens the door to guilt, conflict, explanations, and disappointment. Who wants to put themselves in that position? Not me. So instead of asking, you just keep handling it, which is actually very brand on for Gen X. We were raised to be low maintenance, but now we're paying for it with burnout and sarcasm. So you lower your expectations. You stop expecting so much. You stop trusting. You stop sharing. And that's when the loneliness starts to settle in. Because you're the only one that knows what this is like day to day. And that bitterness you're feeling, it can be dangerous. Because you can look like you're okay, but it might just be burnout that's given up arguing. So if those helpful siblings are making you bitter, that's not you being petty. It just means that you are actually starting to notice the difference between support that sounds nice and support that actually lightens your load. And that's what you're looking for. And they're definitely not the same thing. So is there a way to handle this? You got to stop dropping hints. You got to stop hoping that they're going to magically become useful through telepathy. But here's the Gen X fix. Treat it like a shift change at a mall job from 1988. You count the cash. You hand the keys. You walk to the parking lot, get in your car, leave. And if you're Gen X, you might want to add, go make some good trouble too. You know what I mean. So if you've been here before, you know we don't do therapy. We do anti-therapy. We just do something practical. So here's a practical text message you can send your sibling. Here's mom's schedule this week. I've got doctor's visits and bills. I need you to handle groceries and lawn care. The guy's number's below. Confirm by Friday. That's clear, specific, you're done. And the sneaky thing about this, it makes it harder for them to dodge it. Now here's the truth. Your sibling may never show up the way you need them to or want them to. But you get to stop keeping the mental scorecard. And this channel, it's all about your well-being, not theirs. So let me ask you, if you could say one thing to your sibling and know that they would actually hear it, what would it be? I'm tired of asking. I need you to step up. Drop it in the comments. I'm Nicole, and you're in the right place.